What's up, y'all? We back in the shop today. Just making a quick video. Haven't had a lot of content to post lately. So I just happened to be in the shop today on a Saturday. I got the kids with me. They're in the office. So the camo car is waiting on the harness to come in. Got the engine dropped in and all that good stuff. So engine's in, accessory drive brackets kind of mocked up. I wanted to check the clearance between the ABS module and kind of see how I thought it was going to look. Seeing as how this is one of the smaller ones, and this is the first time I've worked with a car that had this module. So kind of just a waiting game now for the harness to come back for this one. This car, I don't think I've done much footage on this car, but this was a 6.0 4L80 swap that I did. I had to pull the transmission. Customer stated it was shifting weird. I brought it to the shop. I drove it a little bit. I noticed it was shifting a little weird. I did have some issues with the Circle D converter for it. So I pulled the converter. I put a stock converter in it. I sent the Circle D off back to them so they can do whatever they do. And I had a stock one laying around, a brand new stock one. I put it in there. Problem was still the same. So pulled it out, took it to Randy. He's going to go through it, check it out, make sure everything's okay. If there's any issues with it, he'll take care of it. So that's what we're waiting on now. That's pretty much where we're at. So today we're going to mess around with the truck a little bit. I haven't made any videos, after I did the sound system on it. I really didn't show the final product. So I'll show you what the final product is now, and then I'll show you what we're putting in it. All right, so these are the 210s that I had in here. I actually had these subs in my wife's Nissan Rogue at one point, and they sounded okay. I mean, for what they are, they probably sound a little better in like a really small space, but I had them underneath the seat here, and they were, you couldn't turn them up too loud, but for moderate bass, it was okay. But these are coming out, and then we got the amps mounted here behind the seats. Let's see if we can. Yeah, so we got the amps mounted there, the two Audiopipe amps. This is the sub amp, that's the highs amp. So the way that I did the seat, I can still reach the controls to the amp. There's a little cable down here. If I cut that cable or disconnect it, the seat will come all the way down, but I didn't need it to. I mean, I can reach the controls just fine, like this. So that's what's in it now. Audiopipe 1801D and Audiopipe 2000 times 4 channel, and then we got the two Pioneer 10s, and I think these are like 250 watts a piece. So it's like 500 watts back here, not much. What we're upgrading to, oops, I'll show you. All right, so this is going to be the new setup. We got a prefab under seat box for 2 8s, and then it's got port here on the side, and then we're going to be running 2 DB drive G5 8s in this box underneath the seat. In my 03 Silverado, I had the same subs in a box that somebody had built that I bought off of Marketplace. It was a super good deal. Guy had 2 scars and like a box he built with a Scar 1200 watt amp, and I think I paid like $200 for it. I eventually took the Scar subs out and I ran the G2 8s, and they sounded pretty good. The box was terrible though, so I was a little back and forth on what box to use. I reached out to a guy on YouTube that I follow, MBE Enclosures. He makes some really nice boxes, but I texted him on like 2 different occasions. He asked me a few questions, and then that, never even got a price. So I was like, it's fine. Pretty sure people waste his time all day long. I get it. I was kind of still on the fence about it. But the guy who works at the distributor where I get all my audio equipment, he has a 93 Caprice, which is sitting right there. So we worked out a deal. He needed some work done on it. I wanted some sound stuff. So we worked out a deal. So got what I needed. So what we're going to do first, I'll go over some of the specs of these if you're interested. I guess the main important thing that most people care about is just how many watts. I mean, all this stuff I kind of care about, but I think they're about 900 watts RMS, honestly. Here we go. 908 WDX AG5. These are the dual 4 ohms. 900 watts RMS. So the Audiopipe amp is 1800, so it should be paired perfectly because both of these are underrated. Those Audiopipe amps will put a little bit more than 1800, and these can definitely handle a little bit more than 1800. So let me get them wired up, dropped in the box, and we'll see how it works, how it looks, how it sounds. I'm really excited because if you know me, I gotta have my bass, man. I gotta have my bass. All right, so we got these things wired up. We have the coils running parallel. So we got two 4-ohm subs. Bridging them, once we run them parallel, it'll drop it down to 2 ohms. And then once it goes into the amp, it'll be 1 ohm. So we got them wired down to 1 ohm, bridge them each down to 2, and then 1 into the amp. So we'll be running 1 ohm into the amp. And I mean, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, and I mean, a quick Google search will show you how to do this. But basically, you have the 2 connectors for the voice coils. It's dual voice coil subwoofer. If you only have 1 connector, then you have a single voice coil. This has dual. So if we were to run it series, we would run positive to positive, negative to negative, and then connect positive to negative, and then 1 positive and negative out to the amp. That would give us 4 ohms at the subs if we did it that way. And then, but I want to run it at 1 ohm, give us the maximum power. So now we're going to connect wire here, connect it to the box, and then run it into the amp. And I normally don't like to use these little connectors, but I'm gonna do it on this one. Kind of robs power, but this truck I'm not going for maximum power per se, so I think it'll be fine to run it like that. I'm just running low on like good speaker wire. Like I have this is 8 gauge, but it might be too thick for what I'm trying to do. So got to invest in good quality speaker wire, guys. It's very important. All right, I'm getting the subs mounted in the box. I already did all the wiring. I was on the phone with a good friend of mine, and I was kind of working as I was talking, so I couldn't film me wiring up the subs into the box, but pretty much standard. I didn't use these. It had those little flat connectors. I ended up using the ring terminals and just putting them on the nuts. It's just a little bit more stable and gives a better connection. And I will still use these push to connect terminals. I normally don't, but like I said, I am going to do it on this one. So now I'm just screwing the subs in. This one's already mounted down. I actually had to pull this one back out because the screws were grabbing like the edge, so it wasn't really making a good grab. So I had to pull this one out and redo it. So I'm going to get these in here. Then we're going to get the box in the back of the truck plugged in. I'm going to turn the amp up, tune it, and then we'll see. Well, I don't know. We'll see what type of damage it does. I'm super excited, man. I've been wanting a good sound system in this truck. I drive it every day, and I gotta have my sounds, you know. So super excited. Out with the old. It's a little heavier than I thought. In with the new. Shoot. Okay. Fits really nice. Sits nice and centered under the seat, and I think I was gonna thought I was gonna have to get grills for these subwoofers because of my kids, but I think it's gonna cover it quite nice. I may get a L bracket and install it right here to stop it from sliding forward. But let me go ahead and plug it up, and we'll see how it sounds. All right, I stand corrected. They do stick out a little bit. Not a huge deal. I will just get some grills for it because if I put the seat, if I slide it back any further, the seat doesn't come down. So what I may end up doing is putting some washers under the seat bolts. I'm not going to do it today, but when I come back to the shop next week sometime, I'm going to put some washers under the seat, and that'll lift the rear up a little bit and allow me to push it back a little further. Not a huge deal, maybe go up about an inch, and that should be able to get me enough clearance to push this back further so it's not sticking out and the kid's not going to destroy it. So.
I know the enemies be looking when I'm sipping on the Henny and the cookies got my eyes on it. Hood nigga with some hood nigga dick. I'm in the hood with the hood niggas bitch. Front of hood and play this hood nigga shit. Hood bitch from the hood sucking dick. Put that thing down with my eyes closed. Then I'm in the hood with my eyes on. Spray a nigga down like Lysol. Beating up a chick and I do it, I'm in the right. I'm rich.